Welcome back. It's a sea of green across Asia, and the SGX Nifty is also telling us the Nifty could start almost 90 points higher. Well, it is right now time to boil it down from the macros to the micros and talk about the stocks that should be on your radar this morning. Our entire team is standing by with those details. Anuj, let's start with you. What's topmost on your mind today?
Well, topmost is HDFC Bank without a doubt, and I say that because I want to watch out for the Bank Nifty. It was down on Friday, but like we were making the point on closing bell as well, the Bank Nifty was down 100 points. HDFC Bank contributed 110 points out of that. So today, obviously, HDFC Bank starts firm, but I want to see how the others in the system are reacting, like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and I think very importantly, Axis Bank, which has been a bit weak of late. So I'll watch out for these, these 3 or 4 large bank stocks, and want to see if the Bank Nifty is able to take out this congestion zone of 22,200 to 22,300 thereabout. That I think for me would be the key. Let's see. But again, I just want to make a point that perhaps if you're chasing this move, you have to be careful and very nimble, and put perhaps the first 15 or 30-minute low as a stop loss if you're chasing the Bank Nifty move.
Yeah, just a point on the macro, I think the market would have always expected the deposits to migrate to the stronger banks. Those who are trading the Nifty will want to know the book. The quality of the book will determine what kind of book value you want to give, or price to book value. But that also is now shrouded because of moratorium. Anyway, the market will tell us what they make of the numbers. By the way, Anuj, you took away Abhishek's first talk. Abhishek, you've got updates from several banks.
There are banks who have updated their Q1 FY21 business updates. So coming on to HDFC Bank, deposits up 24.5% YOY and about 3.8% sequentially. They have had a loan growth of 21% YOY and about 1.2% sequentially at a time when the industry itself has shrunk by 1.2% quarter on quarter. The low-cost deposit share has come down to 40% versus 42% in the previous quarter. Coming on to IndusInd Bank, the deposit momentum has picked up in this quarter, growing about 5% sequentially, which is at a 5-quarter high deposit momentum. However, the loan growth dipped by 3.1% sequentially, which is at all-time low. The CASA ratio is also at 12-quarter low of about 40.2%. Coming on to Federal Bank, that surprised you on the low-cost deposit front. Overall deposits momentum was strong at 17% YOY and about 2% sequentially. Loan growth dipped a bit, about 0.8% quarter-on-quarter, the first time dip that we have seen over the last few years. CASA ratio is at 5-quarter high of 32%. Equitas also reported that they have a moratorium book of about 50% when compared to 98% that they reported with their Q4 results. The collections have improved across business verticals. Disbursements have resumed. They are at 43% of normal monthly run rate that they are disbursing right now. Back to you.
Okay, Abhishek, thanks a lot for that. So we'll keep an eye on, of course, both these. But a lot of banks are raising funds, and the latest to join the bandwagon is ICICI Bank. Ritu will tell us more. Ritu?
Well, yes, Wednesday, the 8th of July is when ICICI Bank will be holding a board meeting to consider fundraising. Reports had suggested that the bank is looking to raise $3 billion. When in its public statement, the bank has not exactly mentioned how much it is looking to raise. So hopefully we'll hear more on Wednesday. Now, with capital adequacy already over 16%, Tier 1 at 14.72%, it's not that the bank is in dire need of capital, but just like all other financial institutions out there, it is looking to buffer its book against any negative impact from COVID. So, therefore, it is looking to raise this capital. It's not the first one. It certainly won't be the last.
Okay, all right. We'll watch out for that. Ritu, thanks so much. So ICICI Bank on the street to raise some cash. Let's move on to Marico. Mangalam joins in. Mangalam, so looking pretty somber for the first quarter?
Well, looking pretty somber, but the good news is that the street expected somber sort of performance coming in from all the companies in the first quarter. The bigger positive is that the company will see margin improvement, and secondly, they are hopeful of growth, both sales and volume growth, for the remainder of the year. So to put things into perspective, Marico's first quarter, they expect low teens sort of volume decline. That's something that the street expected, and that would be led by double-digit sales decline. However, margins likely to improve because the company's cut back on a lot of expenditure, including ad spends, And the products that are doing well are the regular products, Parachute as well as Saffola, as people are stocking up, or they did stock up in the first quarter. Nothing different from the commentary that they had said earlier. But the biggest positive is the fact that they're hopeful of sales and volume growth for the remainder of this year. And that is something that should keep the stock afloat today.
All right, thanks. Sonal, some more companies that give business updates?
Oh, absolutely, Lata. Let me start with Sobha. Yes, the sales volume and value declined almost 40% on a YOY basis. But considering the lockdown, it is not really bad because the company says that inquiries have now reached the pre-COVID levels. In fact, CLSA says that consolidation led to monthly sales reverting to pre-COVID levels. So that is a positive. And also, the debt has declined on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Moving on to Adani Ports, where the company says that they have achieved a throughput of 41.5 million metric tons across its 9 operating ports in the quarter gone by. And lastly, we also have NFL, that is National Fertilizers. Very strong numbers coming in there because the company says that they have achieved highest ever fertilizer sales in the quarter gone by. So expect that stock to do really well in trade today. Back to you.
Okay, Sonal, thanks a lot for that. We'll keep an eye on all these real estate stocks. But Sonia, some news on Bajaj Auto?
Well, yes, I'm going with red for Bajaj Auto today because the COVID cases at their Waluj plant in Aurangabad have surged. The latest we hear from the company is out of 8,100 workers, 250 workers have tested positive for coronavirus, out of which 4 workers have succumbed to the infection. Some reports indicate that the number of cases could be as high to 300 to 400 as well, but that has not been confirmed by the management. The workers' union is now demanding that the plant be temporarily shut down to break the cycle of the spread of the virus. The company, however, has said that they will not be halting production anytime soon, as the company has to learn to live with the virus. Remember, Waluj is a very important facility for Bajaj Auto. 50% of their production comes from that facility. They manufacture over 3.5 million motorbikes there annually. We'll of course wait for more details from the management, but I'm going with red because it could be a sentiment hit on the stock today.
All right, Sonia, yes, absolutely, perhaps a cause of concern. Let's see how the stock reacts to it. But for now, let's look at some other stocks which are in the news as well this morning. And Reema has a roundup of that list for us. Reema, morning.
Hi, Surabhi. Good morning. Well, more green than red for me this morning. So PNB Housing Finance, that's the only one in the red, where CARE has downgraded the ratings. The ratings now stand at AA stable. NLC or Neyveli Lignite has signed a joint venture with Coal India, where they will develop solar and thermal power assets on a pan-India basis. So that's a positive. AstraZeneca has received an import and marketing permission for a tablet drug which is used to treat heart failure. So we're not too sure about the kind of sales it will get, but this is a positive development for AstraZeneca. And finally, keep a eye on eClerx because there is a board meeting today where they will consider a buyback. The company is sitting on cash of nearly 770 crore. So let's see what they announce. Back to you.
Right, thanks for that. And then the results over the weekend, Indiabulls and Edelweiss, Abhishek?
Well, Lata, Indiabulls reported that they are well placed in terms of their asset liability mismatch over the next 6 months, and they'll be raising about $1 billion to meet the same. So moratorium has come down to about 20% of the book from the peak of 35% that they saw. They are strongly capitalized at 27% despite taking a hit of Yes Bank bond exposure of about 660 odd crores. However, the on-balance sheet or the overall AUM continues to shrink, and the on-balance sheet loan book is at 14 quarter low in terms of absolute value. Coming on to Edelweiss, they have reported a consolidated net loss of 2,245 crores. Their total income was down about 35.5% YOY and about 26% sequentially. So pre-provisioning operating loss is at 780 crores, and the provisions were elevated at 2,040 crore versus 221 crore. Their presentation was all over the places, not comparable with Q3 presentation and Q4 presentation. Back to you.
Got that. Those were the stocks on the radar, but what are the commodity-linked stocks? Manisha Gupta is here.
Lata, thank you so much for that. Well, we are looking at a couple of not so positive data from the global markets. One is the WHO reporting a record number of COVID cases in last 24 hours, and then US aircraft carriers sent to South China during the Chinese drills there. But even with that, you know, the kind of stimulus measures.
Manisha, we have a mic problem. We will revert to you a little later. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll come back for the commodity cues. Quick break. Prakash Diwan will be with us, as will be Mr. K.K. Mistry, Vice Chairman and CEO, HDFC.